When I was in prayer this morning, this memory came to me about this book, The Pastor's Wife. It was Richard Wurmbrand's wife, and she said something so that has carried me through so many things, and it was even carrying me through in. We suffer so much. We go through so much, not only mentally, physically, spiritually. We just suffer, and especially because we love. When you love, and as love grows, suffering grows. I mean, there's so much hurt in love, because we love so strongly. We love the people. We love our children. We love our grandchildren. And when we see them going in error, or we see the enemy working in their life, it hurts. It hurts. All right. So she said her little, at first I couldn't talk much about it. She's talking about her suffering. And I couldn't find the words. Little by little, Mahai got me to talk. Mahai was her son. When he learned how we'd been beaten or forced to eat grass to stay alive, he asked, "How could you bear all this without giving way and denying Christ?" I answered by telling him of a peculiarity in the Hebrew language. In Hebrew, amazingly, some future events are described in the perfect tense. Now, the perfect tense is so called because it refers to actions completed, perfected, at the time of speaking. So in the great 53rd chapter of Isaiah, which foretells the coming of the Messiah and his sufferings, the writer speaks of these events as belonging to the past, not the future. Yet the words were written 800 years before the coming of Christ. When Jesus read the prediction of his heavy sufferings, they had already begun. He was then rejected and despised of men. It was his present and his future, but he read of them in Hebrew as if they'd happened in the past. Now that is exactly how I felt in the midst of suffering. Now get this, saints, this is so important. I tried to explain. Joy is the everlasting present of the Christian spirit. I was in a heavenly place from which no one could move me. Where was the affliction through which I passed? To that most inviolable part of my mind. It belonged to the past. I lived the suffering long ago, while the present reality was delight in the closeness of the Lord. This certainty that it had already happened saved me. Catastrophes come to us all, but once they're over, they're done with. That is taught in this oddity of Hebrew. We experience now past dramas. Years later, I discussed this with Richard in solitary confinement. He said he had felt the same thing in exactly the same way. I wondered if it wasn't another example of communication in the spirit between us. So what she's saying here is, in your prayer closet, you have this continual presence of God. So it doesn't really matter what you're going through. You're just passing through it. And it's already your past. Whatever you're suffering now, it's already your past. But your present and your future is in Christ and in his presence. Isn't that wonderful? So that was what God was reminding me of, because I was praying about in my prayer, in your prayer closet. Live, saints, in your prayer closet. That is your reality. Your prayer closet is your reality.